I'm Arlen Geyer. This video is a demonstration of the PH-124 Digital Image Management class, Week 1, Assignment 3, about importing into Lightroom and doing some basic functions like setting up a collection and doing color labeling. So the first step is to import your images into Lightroom, and as the assignment says, there are several ways to do that. One is to copy the images to your desktop or someplace on your computer first. I recommend not doing it that way. The more work you can let Lightroom do for you, the better off you are. My recommendation is that you import your images directly from either your camera or a card reader. It's faster to do it from a card reader, and card readers are not particularly expensive. So that is my primary recommendation, is to get a card reader if you don't have one, and then you simply put your memory card into your card reader, and then when you go into Lightroom, if the memory card is in the card reader, then when you go into Lightroom in the library module, which is where I am now, you click on the lower left side, click on Import, and with a little luck, Lightroom will recognize that the card reader is there, and it will automatically pull up this import with the appropriate location. Now, if it doesn't do that, on the left side, you can specify where your images are. And if you're doing it from your computer, you'll have to do it that way. You'll have to tell Lightroom where to find them. If you're going from your computer, if you've put them into a specific location, then you might want to do to just specify to add them instead of copying them. You see up here on the top. But again, the more you can let Lightroom do it for you, the better off you are, the simpler your life will be. So if you're going from a card reader, then you want to copy the images. One option is to copy as DNG. DNG stands for digital negative. I don't use that function. I have yet to hear a persuasive argument why there's any advantage in it. So I don't bother to do the extra step. And doing that means that your import's going to take longer, because Lightroom has to do a conversion of the file from one format to another while it's importing. And if you only have a few files, that may not make much difference, but if you're importing a lot of files at a time, that could really slow you down. So one thing you want to make sure on the right side here, that you have the don't import suspected duplicates checked. And you can see right now that these have been grayed out because those are already in the computer, and so that way I don't get duplicate images. And I have another video that explains how to do your basic import setup, so I'm not going to go over that here, but you do want to watch that one to get your file naming and all that. Again, the more you can let Lightroom do for you, the better off you are. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the import, because once you've set that up, once you've told Lightroom where you want your photographs to be and what your file naming convention is and all that sort of thing, then all you do is put your card in, click import, and then click import here. You don't have to do any other setup, and Lightroom will take care of everything else for you. And it's telling me that there are files on here that it can't import, and that's just fine because I don't want those files. I use this card for other applications in addition to my digital camera. So you can see the progress bar on the upper left, and it's just about finished. So now Lightroom has finished importing, and I now have all of these images imported. Now you notice on the left side here that what I'm looking at is previous import, which was 30 images. All photographs would be everything in my Lightroom, and because I happen to just have these 40 in this particular Lightroom catalog, I'm going to go to all photographs, and so now I have all 40 of those. If you're importing just your photographs for this assignment, then you might want to stay with previous import. But either way, the next step is that you want to make a collection of these 40 images. And if you want to just select specific ones, you can click on an image, and then on a PC hold the Control key down to specify specific ones. You can just jump around and do that. On a Mac, I believe that's the Command key. And that way you can select individual ones. If you want to select, I'm just going to click on the first one here. If you want to select all of them or just a sequential group of them, let's say I want to select just this first row, I can hold the Shift key down and click on the last one, and it'll select everyone from the first one that was selected to the one I just clicked on. If you want to select all of them, it'd be Control or Command A to select all of the images that you're seeing. And so now you want to create a collection. And so over here on the left side, the Collections panel, we want to click on the little plus sign to the right of the word Collections, and we want to create a collection. Now you can also create a collection set. And so let's just do that here, just so you can see how that works. I'm going to create a collection set. I'm going to call it PH124. Whoops, 4. This is my collection set. Now that is not an actual collection. It's kind of like a folder that you'll put other folders into, the same idea, but this is a storage place for collections. And so now I'm going to go back to all photographs, and I'm going to do Control A to select all photographs. And now I'm going to go to Collections and click on the plus sign. This time I'm going to create a collection. And the name is going to be Week 1, Assignment 3. And I'm going to put it in a collection set. So I'm going to click that. And you can see however many collection sets you've got. And this is in the PH124 collection set. And I'm going to make sure that this is checked where it says Include Selected Photos. So now you can see in my collection set of PH124, I have a new collection called Week 1, Assignment 3. And then when I have Week 2, Assignment whatever it is, then I will also put that into PH124. It's just a way of keeping things more organized. That way, you could even have, if you want to have go a step further, you could have a collection set called AIP or Artists of Pittsburgh, and then you could have a collection set within that set of each class that you take, and then within that you could have the individual assignments, and within the individual assignments are the individual images. If you want to, you can stack up as many layers as you want like that. Okay, the next thing we want to do here is to organize these according to the themes. And one of my themes is musicians performing. That one's easy because all of those, they were actually shot all at the same time. So if I click on the first one and shift click on the last one, I can get all of those. And I'm going to color label those. You can see down here, I have my color labels. If you don't see this down at the bottom here, this row is the letter T will toggle that on and off, this toolbar. So if you don't see it, press the letter T to see that. And if you don't see the color labels there, you can click on this triangle on the far right and specify that you want to see the color label. I don't use the painter. I don't find that a very useful thing. And sorting is a useful thing to have. I'll show you that in a few minutes. And so other things here that you might or might not want. My camera rotates my images for me, so I don't need to have that checked. And so, if you don't have enough room here, you can uncheck some of these, but you definitely want thumbnail size available to you. And so that's where you specify that sort of all those functions. And so here's the thumbnail size slider right here. I can make them really big, or I can make them small. Now, in another video, I have specified the information that I want you to have listed here. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see that more clearly. So all this information right here above the image, it should look like this, where you can see the aperture and shutter speed, and the file extension, and then the ISO and the focal length. All that information is displayed right there. It's easy to change that information simply by clicking on one of those things, and you can change it to something else. But these are the ones that I want you to have right now. I'll probably have you change that at some point in the course, but for now, these are the ones I want you to have. Okay, so let's zoom back out so you can see all of these. And let's go back to having just these. And I'm going to give this a color label of red. So now those are labeled red. And my next theme is, I have a theme that's water. So now I'm going to click on that one. Oh, here's one also. So hold the Control or Command key down and find all my water shots If I've done this right, there should be 10 of them. So let's see, where else is water? Here's some water. And that one's water too, believe it or not. And that one. And let's see, down at the bottom here, you can see right now there are 40 images in here. I've got 10 selected. So I've got all my water shots. Let's make water blue just because water is blue sometimes. Okay, so that's my blue ones. And now, to make it easier to look through these and to sort them, I'm going to use the sort function. And instead of sorting by capture time, I'm going to sort by color label. So right here, label color is the way it organizes it. So I can now see that the ones that have color labels are first, and then the other ones are underneath here. And one of my themes is also fences. So let's see, it's easier now to find the ones that I haven't selected because they're all down at the bottom. So fences, there's one, and there's another. I think that's a fence. That's definitely a fence. How many do I have so far? I have 8, 9, and which is the 10th one? I know one of these has fences in it. Well, I'm going to just do those for the time being. I'm going to make fences be yellow. I haven't used yellow yet. And so another theme is farm. So I'm going to do that one and that. I don't know which one of these is the fence. So I'm going to have to zoom in and so I have 11 checked right now. I'm going to go ahead and do all 11. I'm going to make the farm be green. But now I'm going to try to figure out which of these is a fence. So let's see. I think this is a candidate. This is a candidate for a fence. So I double-clicked, and sure enough, look at that. There's a fence on there. So you can also, instead of double-clicking, you could click the loop view right here in the lower left, and then go back to the other. I'm going to change this from this is currently green. I'm going to change it to yellow to be a fence. So I click on yellow right here, and that changes that to yellow. It's now up here. So I've now color labeled them all appropriately, and I have created a set of all of them. All right, the next thing I want to do is I need to give keywords to all of these, but the other thing I want to do is right now, notice that I have 11 across, and it's very nice if you can make it so you have 10 across, so that you have 4 rows of 10, and that way you have a theme in each row. If you want to change the order of these, it's very nice to just use sort by color label, or label color, because that way Lightroom does it for you. It keeps your life simple. If you want to change the order, for example, let's say I want this one to be before this one, I can just grab that and drag it and drop it right there. You can do that in collections very simply like that. But notice now that it has changed to user order because it is no longer, Lightroom doesn't know that I didn't do something like that. It just knows that I changed the order. So you can change it to a specific order that you want, or you can just let Lightroom do it for you by using the label color function down here. And so the next thing we need to do is to add keywords to all these images, and you want to add at least three keywords to each one. So I'm going to start right here on the right side. If I click in this, this says add keywords, somewhere it says that. And okay, this guy is his name is Mike Block, and I'm going to add another keyword, cellist, and musician. Musician is the name of my theme, so I definitely want to include that. And let's see, concert, because he was in a concert. All right, now I'm going to just hit the Enter key, and now those are all listed there. And now also you notice in the keyword list down here that I now have all those keywords, and they're checked because the selected image has all those keywords. And so now I'm going to pause the video while I add keywords to all the rest of these images so that you don't have to sit there and wait while I do that. Okay, I am back. I'm sure that was no time at all for you. And I have now added keywords to all these images. If you take a look over here, you can see I've added the cellist, concert, mic block, and musician there. And here we've got banjo, Carl Jones, concert, and musician. And so I have identified, now I'm a little inconsistent here because I didn't say banjoist. I didn't say cello. So I'd probably want to be more consistent about that. Here we have Jean Ritchie, and she's playing an Autoharp. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to click in here and say Autoharp. And so that adds that. Notice that the keywords will automatically get alphabetized. And so that's just the way it is. And so on each one of these, I have at least 3 keywords. And so, for example, here I've got fence, gate, North Carolina playground, rural, and swing. I could actually add, this is in Owen Park, as are some of these other ones. This one, for example, is in this, I've included branch, Owen Park, ripples, and water. This one is also in Owen Park. So there are a couple of ways I can add that. If I click in here and just type the letter O, it's going to jump to Owen Park because that's something I've recently typed that begins with an O. I'm going to delete that and show you another way I can do it. So once that shows up in there, I can simply hit enter and it would put that in there. I can also find Owen Park down here, and starts with an O. There we go. Here's Owen Park. And if I just grab onto that, I can drag that and drop it onto that image. And if I had a bunch of images selected when I did that, it would apply that to all of the images that are selected. So there are several ways you can add keywords, and then of course finding keywords. There are a couple of ways I can find all the images that say have let's say relaxing. Let's see. Well, I only have one that says relaxing. Let's see here. Let's find one that has a few. Okay, there are 5 that have tree as a keyword. So if I click, see this little arrow all the way on the far right. If I click on that, that will show me all of the images that have that keyword. And you can see up here that it is selected here in the library filter, and that is the other way you can do it. Instead of clicking to the right of it here, you could actually click on the keyword here. Instead of tree, I could look at tractor, or I could look at rural. Any one of these. There are 20 that say North Carolina, although actually all of them were in North Carolina. So there are 5 that say Owen Park. And now I can go back to all photographs. Actually, I can go back to my entire set here. Another way to do that, if I go to the library filter and metadata, then I'm back to this, and one image has mining in it. If I go to the loop view, I can show you why that says mining. See, this is all strip mine up here. And so now if I go back to the grid view, another way I can go back to all my images if I click none up here, then I'm back to all of them. So a couple of ways you can sort through those. And so the other thing I'm supposed to do here for this assignment is to flag my favorite image, or the strongest image, not necessarily my favorite, but the strongest image in each of my 4 themes. And so I could go with Jean Ritchie because she's famous, but I really like this photograph of, I'm going to double click, which is the same as clicking on the loop view down in the lower left here. And when I zoom in on this, I see that actually Reggie Harris is in here as well as Kim Harris. So I'm going to add him to my keywords. Go back to here, scroll up, and click in here, and add Reggie. Okay, but that's my favorite one of these. So on the left here, there's this faint flag. If I click that, then it will flag that. Notice that it's now flagged down here also. And you notice that the letter P is in parentheses there because the letter P is the shortcut for doing flagging or picking an image. So in fences, I really like this one because this just has a really nice feel to it. So I'm going to pick that one. I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to type the letter P. And now that one is picked. And in my farm series, I like this red barn. Actually, I kind of like the white barn. This is kind of a nice one to sum up a series on a farm. So I'm going to pick that one. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. That. Okay, now it's picked. And on this one of the water, this one's kind of a nice one. It's unusual because it's pretty much just a reflection. I don't like that it has this little bit up in the upper left corner, but so maybe I'll pick something else. I like this one. This is a nice tranquil scene with a branch in the foreground and the mountain in the background. So I'm going to pick that one, type the letter P. Now, if I wanted to, I could drag my picked one to the beginning of each of these rows, which would be quite deluxe. Make it look very organized, like I really know what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that. Notice now that it says user order down here, it no longer says that it is sorted by label color, but it is sorted by label color still. You can see, we can verify that. And so the next thing is we want to make a screenshot of this. I want to see both the left and right panels so that I can see what you've got here. And I'd like to see your keyword list. And so close the histogram. We're not interested in the histogram in this case. And close the keywording and leave the keywords, the keyword list available so I can see your list of keywords and how many keywords, how many images have each keyword. That's basically what we're trying to do here. And I guess if you, because I really do want to see your collection and your keywords. So if you can't get all 40, then maybe what you'll need to do is to do a couple of screenshots. You do one with the beginning and then scroll down and complete it and do a second screenshot of the additional ones if you have to do that. Because I want to see both the left and right panels. And again, I'm interested particularly in the collections panel here and the keyword list panel here. Those are the ones I really want to see, of course, along with your thumbnails. And if you can make it so that you have 10 across, that would be nice. If you can't get 10 across, then you do what you have to do. So to do the screenshot, I use a program called the Snipping Tool, and I've got it conveniently on my desktop here, so I can just click on that, and that brings up the Snipping Tool here. And I want to do a new. If I click on that little arrow, I want to do a Windows snip, and it will bring up a dialog. And I click on this window to say yes, this is the one I want, and it shows the snip there. And now I can specify that I want to save this on the upper left corner here, and I just want to save it as a file, and I'm going to save it in some convenient location like maybe my desktop, and I'm going to call it using the file naming convention week 1 assignment 3, and save it with the file naming convention that is required for the class, and make sure it's a JPEG file, and that's all we have to do. And then we can close that. And we're finished. If your snipping tool is not conveniently located in your desktop, which it won't be by default, you can click on the Start button, and if you click on the search function in the lower left in Windows, you can type snip, and then it will pull that up, and then you can click on it there. So there you go. I hope that covers everything.